Hey everybody, Captain Lou here with another edition of Tigers Daily in partnership with fanarch.com. Happy Tuesday, July the 21st, 2026. Indeed, it's a happy Tuesday for the Tigers. We'll talk about it in a moment. But first, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Tigers Daily. You get all of our great updates, the good, the bad, everything in between. The latest rumors. We get to talk about games like last night, or you could call it this morning when it ended. What a wild one at Wrigley Field for the Tigers. That and a whole lot more. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tigers Daily. For those of you that have done it, I really sincerely appreciate it. The feedback's been amazing. The viewership's been great. We invite you to keep doing it. We're going to be here throughout the season and then some. We're not going anywhere right here on Tigers Daily. All I can say is wow. What a game last night for the Tigers. These are ones that we have seen them blow and lose and put themselves in the position that they're in right now, which is fighting for a wild card spot or, a long-term hope, maybe a divisional title. Detroit jumps out to a 4-0 lead. Riley Green, a bomb, starting things off, 3-0 Tigers. And then Dylan Dingler gets a home run back-to-back, his 20th of the year at the time, 4-0 Tigers. Then they go up, or lead gets cut to 4-3. Again, Jack Flaherty, not his best stuff. He only went 4 innings for the Tigers. The lead was cut to 4-3, but then Dylan Dingler in the 8th. How about that? Another home run to give the Tigers a 5-3 lead, but it wouldn't last for long. In the bottom of the 8th, Ian Happ with that 2-run blast to tie it up at 5. In the 9th inning, I used to have hair, right? If I had it, I would have lost it in the bottom of that 9th inning. Now, before that, Detroit left a lot of runners on base, some scoring chances, and you thought, boy, when Ian Swanson got that home run, Darby Swanson got that home run in the bottom of the 9th, right away, they got a runner on second with nobody out. They got the bases loaded. They had runners in scoring position with 1 out. Kenley Jansen on the hill. He looked shaky. Shaky is a kind word for it, right? Loads the bases, and then it's 3-0. He wasn't even close on some of those pitches. Bregman had to duck to save his life on that 96-mile-an-hour cutter that got away from Jansen. 3-0, you're thinking, all right, what are we going to talk about? The Tigers with another blown lead, which they had so much more than last year already. I think it's like their 30th one. Well, he got the strikeout, 3 straight strikes. The crowd was on their feet. It had all the makings of a heroic win for the home team at the confines of Wrigley Field. Jansen somehow, some way, got out of that mess and kept it a 5-5 tie. We headed to the 10th. And then the heroics for the Tigers, obviously they start with a runner on second. Hoon-Yu Lee is the runner. He made the last out in the 9th. He was able to score what would have been what was at the time the go-ahead run. He got the third on a hot shot off the bat of Riley Green that just caromed 110 miles an hour off the foot of the pitcher in the 10th inning. Well, then Dylan Dingler came up with runners on the corners with 2 strikes. One of the best 2-strike hitters in all of baseball right now. He got the seeing eye single to make it 6-5. The Tigers loaded the bases. Spencer Torkelson came through with a 2 RBI single. It was 8-5 with nobody out. And I thought, boy, Detroit could blow this one wide open. Couldn't do anything more against Uria and the Cubs in the top of the 10th. 8-5. And then they only give up 1 run in the bottom of the 10th. Holton comes in, shuts the door on the Cubs, and Detroit wins one. They snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat after blowing the lead. And just we've seen this scenario so many times for the Tigers. They don't win these games, but they did tonight. 8-6, or last night. I guess you could call it tonight, whatever, as we are already into Tuesday. They won it yesterday by the score of 8-6. A huge win for the Tigers. They needed this win as the Guardians won, the White Sox won, and yes, the Boston Red Sox, they won their 14th straight. They hold the last spot for the wild card standings. So Detroit needed this to stay within 4.5 games, and they needed it to stay within 6.5 games in the division. So great win for the Tigers. The only costly thing I could see out of it, it looked like Kerry Carpenter came up lame in the 10th when he got on base on the fielder's choice. And so we'll keep an eye on that. But I'll tell you one thing is great to see, and that, of course, was Gleyber Torres back in the lineup for the Tigers. As he came in, and he was 2 for 3, plus a walk. He was on base 3 times. What an uplift for the Tigers. He was called up today. He was activated today. Eduardo Valencia was sent down to the minors. Disappointed in that decision. I will say that. Because you got guys like James Outman, who he's batting $160, didn't do anything last night, and he almost coughed up a long fly ball. He almost cost them the game. He looks lost out there at times. Now, I know he almost got a home run. I get it. But Torres called up. We were wondering who they were going to send down. I thought maybe it was going to be Malgeri, but instead it was Eduardo Valencia. So Malgeri is safe for now. We'll see what happens. But it was great to see Gleyber Torres back for the Tigers, and he performed well. 3 times on base, and then he got yanked for actually 4 times on base, I beg your pardon. Then he got pulled for the runner in the 9th inning. So it was great to see the Tigers. And so now we'll just wait and see how he fares. We'll see if he's going to play tonight in the matchup, game 2 for the Tigers against the Cubs. But again, such a huge win. In other news, Javi Baez tonight starting his rehab assignment, real-time rehab assignment in Lakeland for the Lakeland Tigers. So that's good news for Detroit. He's a little bit ahead of schedule from what everybody says. So if he does well in that rehab assignment, we could see Javi Baez back in the lineup towards the end of the week when they're playing Kansas City, or maybe the start of next week against Baltimore. So some of the sticks, some of the arm or field, or some of the gloves coming back in the outfield or shortstop, because we all know that that Baez can play center field, and with Kerry Carpenter now, kind of wondering about him. We'll keep an eye on that as well, but it's good news for Baez to come back as well. Now, from Sunday's game, right now he's day-to-day. Casey Mize, we saw that he got pulled. He took that hot shot on his non-glove hand, as we said. But the bigger issue was the groin tightness. Now, he was playing catch in the outfield before yesterday's game, and he looked okay. But he's day-to-day. We'll wait and find out what happens with him. He's scheduled to start on Friday against Kansas City. So that's up in the air as of right now. He's in the rotation to start Friday. So we'll keep an eye on that. As, again, good news with Gleyber Torres coming back. He looked strong, looked like he never missed a beat for the Tigers. And just what a crazy game it was last night. But it was great to see him, the ups and downs of the Tigers yesterday in that wild game, one they had to have. They had to have to keep their hopes up. So, I mean, that's what we're excited to see for the Tigers. All right, so with that performance out of the bullpen, it was shaky at best. We all know it was shaky at best. So the big question is, let's say Detroit's going to be buyers at the deadline, which the way they keep going, they would stay within 4 games. You would think they're going to be buyers. I mean, we've talked ad nauseum about Tarek Skubal, but Detroit's going to need some arms in the bullpen. I mean, their hitters, I think they can get by with the sticks they've got. They've got to call up. They've got to give Anderson and Clark a chance. I don't know how long they're going to ride the Rapids with McKinstry and Vierling and Outman. If they're going to win, they're going to have to do something. But I think the more pressing issue right now for the Tigers is that bullpen. Finnegan gave up the 2-run blast to Happ last night to tie it up at 5. He got torched. Jansen will make your hair fall out if you've got it. I mean, he 30 pitches, and he pitched the day before. I mean, all he throws is cutters. Somehow he dug down deep, and he got the Cubs out in the 9th. I still don't know how he did it. With that 3-0 count, with the bases loaded, and he threw 3 strikes and got him out. we got to do something. The Tigers do, that's for sure. So again, we go back on everybody's wish list right now. Obviously, is Mason Miller, and I just don't think he's going to command a high price from the Padres. So if you're the Tigers, are you willing to risk one of the guys out of AAA, that one of your top prospects? Now, obviously, if I was the Tigers, I would let him have Chris Rodriguez. He's an outfielder. He's in the Florida Coast League right now. I know he's in rookie ball. He's got so much upside, but he's a few years away. The other one, he's the sixth rated prospect in the Detroit system right now. I don't think I would give up Bryce Rainier, but to get someone good, you're going to have to give up somebody good. And I know that's what San Diego is going to be looking for. A good they need sticks. Have you seen their batting average? They're horrible. That's why they're near the bottom. That's why they're near the bottom in batting, but that's why they're teetering on the edge of being eliminated in the playoffs already in the National League. So Chris Rodriguez, I'd give up for Mason Miller. Now I know it's a pipe dream probably, but I think Detroit really needs to go after some arms. Bryce Rainier, again, he's due to make the fast track in 2028, maybe earlier than that, playing with the Whitecaps right now or at the beginning of the year. I mean, I don't want to part with Briseño. I want to see him potentially play first base for the Tigers. He had a 4-for-4 night. The other night he had a 3 home run night. I don't think I'd part with him if I'm Detroit. And maybe Thayron Lirianzo, I don't know. But those are some of the big names that I know that the Padres are going to want in return for Mason Miller. So we'll keep an eye on that, but that's what I would do. It's funny because watching last night's game, I was thinking, all right, what am I going to talk? What are we going to do as far as the arms race? Are we going to go after a stick, or are we going to go after an arms race or an arm? And I think after watching that bullpen in that game against Chicago, you got to beef up the bullpen somehow. There is no way Detroit is going to climb back into that race or hold on to a playoff spot if they were to get hot with that bullpen. It's just not going to happen. Another blown lead Monday night again. So that's, again, I would say go for any kind of relief help. Right now, the Padres with Mason Miller, he seems to be on everybody's wish list, just like Tarek Skubal is for the Tigers, but that's what I would go for in the arms race. All right, so game 2 tonight for the Cubs and the Tigers, I should say. And Framber Valdez off of bereavement leave. His grandmother passed away. Our condolences to him and his family. But he's back. He's going to pitch tonight for the Tigers against the Cubs in game 2. Detroit, if they ever needed a big outing out of Framber, they need it tonight. They need at least 6 out of him. 7 would be ideal, but they need such a monster outing out of him tonight. If they get that, they take the series. They've got Kiter Montero pitching on Wednesday, but tonight, this is where they need the bullpen to rest. I mean, Drew Anderson will be available. Summers looked shaky to me. I mean, their bullpen in general looked shaky. Flaherty didn't have his best stuff, but they blew the lead, so they're going to need a huge outing out of Framber Valdez. No question about it. And I want to have a special shout out here before we go tonight. Virgil Green commented yesterday on the show about maybe working with some of the bats. I agree. They need to work with some of the bats. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. The Red Sox with their 14-game winning streak now, and of course, Jahmai Jones in their lineup. We all know that he couldn't get anything going here in Detroit. They got to work on the hitters. I don't know what they're going to do. But Torkelson, he got the big knock for the Tigers, which turned out to be the game-winning RBIs in the 10th inning last night for the Tigers. So, but Kerry Carpenter, what happened to him? 0 for 25. Wow. He's just falling off the earth right now. So, I don't know. I want to thank Virgil for watching, as he does all the time. Special hello to them and everybody else. So, again, game 2 tonight. Big game for the Tigers against the Cubs. They got to keep it rolling. They're playing good baseball right now, but they need that strong outing after that shaky bullpen performance from the Tigers. We need Valdez big time. Let's see if he can deliver. All right, that's going to do it here for today's edition of Tigers Daily in cooperation with Fan Arch Network. Again, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tigers Daily. You get all of these updates, all the good, the bad, and everything in between. I want to thank those of you that have subscribed and those that have taken time out to watch, including today's show. We appreciate it. Until tomorrow, Captain Lou saying keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open.